What's up guys, today we're going to be installing Apple CarPlay and Android Auto onto your PCM 3.0 head unit. With this adapter, you'll retain the OEM head unit and just add these extra features alongside the original steering wheel functions and buttons. This is going to be a quick and easy install using the Mr12Volt adapter. Let's get right into it. So first things first is we're going to be using a plastic trim tool to remove this cover piece. You have 4 T20 Torx screws in order to pull the head unit out. Pretty simple, just go ahead and wiggle it out side to side and it comes right out. Go ahead and start removing all the plugs from behind the head unit. Pull up on this lever so that you can release the lock and it just pulls right out. Going through the Mr12Volt box, the first thing we have is the main module. This is what everything's going to be plugged into. Next up, we have the video board and hardware. Next will be the fiber optic cable. It also comes with an additional microphone that you can attach. Next is the power harness that we'll be adding on. And lastly, we have the LVDS cable, which is going to be plugged inside of the head unit. We're going to go ahead and start with the back of the head unit. We have a total of 3 T8 Torx screws that we're going to go ahead and remove. For my head unit, I had something already pre-installed, but we're going to use this hole to feed one of the cables through. And then from the top, an additional 2 T8 Torx screws that we're going to go ahead and remove. From there, you can go ahead and use a flathead to kind of pry it open. Pretty easy. Go ahead and flip it open and unlatch it from the back. You're going to want to be careful because there's some ribbons attached to the top of the head unit that we're going to have to disconnect right now. This is the module that was pre-installed in my head unit. You may or may not have this, but to remove it, you have 2 T8 Torx screws that you're going to go ahead and remove. From there, we're going to move on to disconnecting the top half of the head unit from these ribbons. To remove them, you're going to lift the plastic clips. You'll want to reach in from each corner, lift up the plastic clip, and then release the latch so that you can pull these ribbons out. Then we're going to follow up with the 2 ribbons that are installed on top. That will then reveal a T8 Torx screw that you're going to go ahead and remove. From there, grab the bag with the video card and hardware. You're going to be looking for the gold adapter, this one right here. Go ahead and hand tightly screw that into the hole that you just removed the T8 screw from. From there, you're going to grab the 2 ribbons from that same bag. We're going to go ahead and install those into the same plastic ports where we removed the original ribbons from. The skinnier one going first on the top part, and then you'll have the wider ribbon going into the one right underneath it. Go ahead and move this cable out of the way. That way it gives it room for the video card. You're going to have the original ribbons on top and the brand new ribbons feeding through the bottom of the video card. You'll see that 3 holes line up where you're going to be adding these 3 T8 Torx screws in to secure the video board. From there, you're going to grab the top original ribbons, starting with the skinny one, insert it into the port at the very top. Once the ribbon is fed all the way down, go ahead and secure it with the plastic clip by pushing it down. You won't have to use too much force on any of these, so just be gentle. In the second port right below it, you're going to go ahead and feed the wider ribbon from the original head unit. Next, you're going to install the new skinnier ribbon into the very bottom port, followed by the wider one right on top of that. So it should look something like this. Once you have everything tightened down, wiggle the ribbons around, make sure they're secure. Next, we're going to grab the LVDS cable. You're going to feed it through the back of the head unit from the hole that we created by removing the Torx screw. Before plugging it in, the orientation is the white cable should be on the right and the blue cable should be on the left. Go ahead and plug that in. Just to make sure everything is secure and the cable does not come out, we're going to go ahead and secure it down with a zip tie. Feed it through the holes that are provided. Go ahead and tighten it down, remove any excess, and you could feed it through to make it look a little bit cleaner. We're going to be closing up the head unit pretty soon. Lastly, grab the top piece, the last ribbon into the very last port, which you see right here. Then we can go ahead and relatch the top piece starting from the rear, making sure the holes line up for the screws. Then we can go ahead and reinstall the T8 Torx screws. So it's going to be a total of 4 now, 2 on top and then 2 in the rear. Then we're going to move back inside to go ahead and install everything back together. First off, we're going to remove this fiber optic cable from the original harness. Then we're going to grab the brand new power harness and we're going to make some adjustments. Starting with the very end of the harness, we can clip it into the original harness. Once it's pushed all the way through, go ahead and latch it to secure. And then we're going to grab our fiber optic cable. You're going to go ahead and find the male clip and we're going to release that and we're going to use it for the original fiber optic cable. It only has one orientation, so you can go ahead and plug that into the original one. From there, we're gonna go ahead and plug in the new fiber optic cable to the original fiber optic cable. Using the cable that we just removed the male end from, we're gonna feed that fiber optic cable into the new end of the power harness. It's gonna be orientated at the top left, just like this. Here we're getting to the part to where you're gonna be able to hide the modules and all the wires. One solution will be, you'll be removing this trim to reveal 2 T20 torque screws that you'll remove. You might have to make some other modifications. Your vehicle may or may not have this, but you're gonna go ahead and pry it open with a plastic trim tool, and it'll reveal a cubby space in which where we'll be able to stuff most of these cables from. You can either route it to your glove box or anywhere you feel necessary. Easy enough, there's holes provided on the inside of the cubby space for the head unit, which you could feed the wires through. You can see all these extra inputs that are attached to the harness, which will be for the front, rear, and optional side camera inputs. It also comes with 12-volt power that you can tap into. This can be used with OEM and aftermarket cameras, which you can adjust in the settings once we turn on the head unit. The first cable that we'll be plugging in is the LVDS cable, which are these little black clips that just plug together. Next, the LVDS cable will be plugged into the main module. Inside the main module, there is a cap that you'll have to first remove before putting in the new fiber optic cable. Lastly, we have the white power cable that's going to go into the module. And you'll see here, this is where you can plug in your USB cable for your Android or iPhone. At this part, if your vehicle doesn't already come with Bluetooth capabilities for phone calls, you can install this optional microphone in which you can go ahead and use that for taking calls with the new adapter, which will be plugged in right here. Then we're going to go ahead and plug in the power harness right into the back of the head unit. Same thing as before, once it's pushed in all the way, go ahead and push the lever down to secure and lock it. From there, we can go ahead and reinstall our original cables to the back of the head unit. Everything's color coded, so it's all pretty much self-explanatory. Then before organizing all the cables and putting everything back together, you're going to go ahead and want to test the unit just to make sure that all of your connections are secure. So that we can go ahead and turn on the vehicle. It goes straight to the radio, but if you want to access the new unit, you'll click Source and then TV, and this will bring you to a menu. From there, we can go ahead and plug in our iPhone cable and also connect our iPhone to activate CarPlay. Here you see it loading, and it goes straight into the CarPlay menu. And just to test it out, I went ahead and played music. Everything seems to be working as it should. The music is playing and it's coming through the speakers. To access the settings and menu, you're gonna go ahead and click the bottom left, click on the Mr12Volt app, and it brings you back to the menu. From here, we're gonna go ahead and scroll through the settings. You have your general where you can adjust your volume, car setting where you can adjust your reverse camera and all those dedicated things, your display brightness and contrast. In the sound tab, you reveal a 15-bar DSP equalizer, which is very cool. You can go ahead and fine tune it to the adjustments to your liking. The last two will be where you can change your language and the system information. So going back to the Mr12Volt menu, we're gonna go ahead and activate wireless Bluetooth CarPlay. Connecting your Bluetooth, it'll enable wireless CarPlay, which is very cool. So all you have to do is on your phone, you'll be looking for the device Mr12Volt. Go ahead and connect and pair to that. And once that pairs, you should see the CarPlay menu come back up and it'll function just like normal. And just going back to confirm that the wireless connection works, I'm going ahead and testing some music. And the best part about it is it utilizes the MOST bus connection and it delivers the highest quality digital audio coming from a cigarette lighter Bluetooth adapter. That means a lot. Now I can hear high quality, crisp audio and music playing from my Cayenne. If you don't want to use CarPlay anymore, you can go ahead and click Source and click FM or whichever one that you want to tap into, and it goes back to normal. All right, and that's pretty much it for the install. It was quick and easy, and now we have the functionality of Apple CarPlay on the PCM 3.0. There's a lot more capability that this adapter provides. You can head to their website. I have a link down in the description where you'll be able to find the list of all different features that this adapter supports. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. I hope you guys can enjoy your Apple CarPlay unit or Android Auto into your PCM 3.0, and I'll see you guys next time.